Well, hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Royal Nugget podcast. And I am Sharon, your retirement coach diva. And today we have a wonderful guest who's going to talk about how we can improve our businesses, how we can scale it up through various marketing techniques so we can attract those ideal clients and do our best to, move our business to the next level. So we're going to, and I apologize right now if I mispronounce your name, but we have with us is Staci Azure.
You got it.
Okay, all
Perfect.
right.
That's perfect.
And we're going to be talking today about how we can build our business, through smart strategies and have it to grow to the next level. So, welcome, Staci, to the Royal Nugget podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, so
I've been looking forward to this.
yeah, we talked a while back, and I know that you're excited about being, and I've been excited about you being on here as well. So I appreciate it. And as we go through, we're going to talk and engage, and people can contact you as they see your information on the screen now. But also, we want those who are listening to chime in. This is a conversation, not just between myself and Staci, but it is with everyone. So please type into the comments your questions, and we'll be able to address them during the show. So, Staci, as always, people want to know who you are and how you became where you are today and how you decided to build your business. So, if you could tell our audience and listeners, tell us about yourself.
Very good. I am actually, believe it or not, originally from Detroit, from the Detroit area. So I now live on the Gulf Coast of Alabama. So that is a huge leap from Detroit all the way down to the Gulf Coast. My husband's job brought us here several years ago. But anyhow, my career started off in direct mail and just kind of morphed from there to any and every aspect of marketing and including social media, website design, uh, you name it. I've done it and I've had some experience in it from a corporate standpoint, which has been wonderful. So, playing that corporate role in and out for many, many years, working for some big heavy hitting companies, always had positions where I was like VP of marketing or marketing director for some organization. Um, And let's fast forward to the pandemic. I was working for a software development company, heading up their marketing, and like many other people, was let go. And when that
Mm,
happened, it was just like, oh my God, woe is me. I really didn't worry too bad because I had the experience, I have the credentials, and it was my husband who came to me and my husband was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm looking for a new job. And he's like, have you thought about opening your own business? And I thought to myself, he's right. It was something that I always would do to helping out people with their marketing from time to time on a part-time basis or kind of like on the side. But
mhm.
it never crossed my mind to one day have my own business. Even though I went to school, have multiple degrees in this stuff, it was ingrained and trained in me. It was like that hustle mentality. I was like, why did I not come up with that to begin with? So that is how I got my start. It was actually my husband nudging me on and was like, you can do it. And the timing, sometimes God puts us in situations and forces us into another arena that we don't think we're ready for. And it was the perfect timing for me. I just didn't know it was the perfect timing.
Yeah, sometimes we have to, like you said, not God uses people to motivate you and give you those words of encouragement and say, hey, you can do this. And it's been in you all the time until you can get somebody that pushes you and believes in you, and then there you go. So, how long have you been in business?
Good question. I have been in business and owned staying power marketing for 5 years now, which has been wonderful. I'm so excited about that. Today, my team and I have a team. That feels good to say too. I have a team of people, and we specialize in three things. So, number one is brand strategy.
Mm-hmm.
From time to time, people will come to me and they're like, Stacy, can you help me with my marketing? And I'm like, sure. And the first thing I ask them, Sharon, is a very important question. And it is, who is your target market? That's
Mm-hmm.
like a telltale question for me that I ask people. And when I'm working with someone and I see them struggling, or they don't know who their target market is, or they'll tell me something like anybody who will buy, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, no, let's take a time out and let's
Right.
stop and let's really dig down deep and figure out who it is you should be speaking with. Where do
Mm-hmm.
these people hang out? Where are they on social media? What do you say to them to get them to respect you, want to buy from you, like you, trust you?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we move on and we talk more about their competition. What does their competition look like? Um, uh, what can they learn from the competition? What is their competition doing great? What are they doing not so great? How do you capitalize on that as a business owner? And then the granddaddy of them all, what are your goals from a marketing standpoint? You know, and before you even get to talking about marketing goals, you have to be clear on what your business goals are. Okay. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're a small business owner, your business goal is to hit $500,000 a year, and that's the business goal. From a marketing standpoint, everything you're doing in your marketing needs to speak to that number. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing something in your marketing and is not speaking to that number, you shouldn't be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not serving you.
Right.
So I tell people all day long, like, pay attention and make sure that your marketing goals are in tandem with your business goals. Very
Mm-hmm.
important. Very important. So then, you have your target market, competition, your goals. Then you have to figure out, how are you tracking those goals? You
Mm-hmm.
know, what indicators do you have that the marketing that you're doing is actually working for you? Are you tracking that? Are you keeping track of how many people are clicking on whatever? How many people are visiting your website? How many people are
Mm-hmm.
commenting on your posts? That's important to know. And I tell people, don't overthink it. Literally get a sheet of paper and write down how many people called my phone this month and how many people called last month. Did that number
Mm-hmm.
go up or go down?
Right.
And if it went up, whatever you were doing in that month is working. Like, stick with it, double
Mm-hmm.
down on it.
Right.
And if it didn't work, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe that's something you shouldn't be doing, because there's so many things you could do in marketing. There's no way possible you can do everything, but you
Mm-hmm.
do what serves you. So Sharon does what serves Coach Sharon. I do what serves my business, okay?
Right.
And you do what works for you. So, target market, competition, goals, how are you tracking those goals? Then we move on to some of the fun stuff like your branding, and you can talk about that, like, what is your style guide? Do you have a color palette in place? Are you a Times Roman type of girl or an Arial type of girl? It's your brand, and it's very important. It's very important. As we're here on this call and doing the show right now,
Mm-hmm.
your brand is all over this. The color blue is
Mm-hmm.
all over this. You got your
Mm-hmm.
logo up in the corner. That is
Right.
your brand. When people see that brand, they know it resonates with them, and it speaks to your audience when you're not even in the room. It speaks to the
Mm-hmm.
audience when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're asleep and they're on your website trying to figure out, hey, I need somebody to help me with retirement planning. Like, how can who do I need to talk to? It's very important that you are consistent with your branding and it looks the same every single time. And by the way, you do a great job of that part. I've been noticing and watching.
Well, thank you so much. I try. I try.
Yes.
And as you were talking, I was thinking about like when I first started my business and what I
Uh-huh.
was doing, and um, it's evolved over the years. I was like you said with people say, well, who's your target audience? I'm like, well, everybody that I can coach anybody. And then it was like, well, yeah, you can, but I had to refine my niche, and then
Mhm.
develop like who my target audience really is, and that took me going through classes and talking to people until I really, got to where I am today. And that's when I started to see my business move. So I really encourage people to do these things that Staci is going to be sharing, because they will move your business to the next level, especially those of us who are out here. This is what we do. This is our passion. And so you
Mhm.
want to, it's not a hobby. It is
Mhm.
your business. And you want to
Mhm.
make sure that it is growing. Then Staci's going to give us some tips. So make sure you have pen and paper and writing this information down so you can take copious notes, as they say, so you can
There
move
you
your
go.
business to the next level.
There you
So,
go.
Staci, one of the things I wanted to ask you is that I know that your brand talks about helping businesses create big brand energy. Tell us what that means.
Big brand energy sort of falls into exactly what I was just talking with you about with your branding, how it
Mm-hmm.
speaks when you're not in the room. Your brand is so important. You have to protect it. It's your job as the business owner to protect the integrity of your brand. Nobody else is going to do that for you. Nobody else is going to care as much as you care about your business. I don't care what size your business is. Nobody is going to care about it the way you care about it, because it's your baby. You birthed it, you put it together. So your brand is important. Number one, you should always be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Same colors, show up the same way every time. I always tell people, go old school and think about McDonald's. That's how McDonald's was able to
Mm-hmm.
specifically resonate with children. Those golden arches. And the kid can be in the
Mm-hmm.
back seat and see those arches from miles away. Mama, there's McDonald's. You know, that is a
Yeah. Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
something that identifies you. And what I mean by big in terms of that is how I structure my business at Staying Power Marketing. We are really big on making every single client feel big. We treat
Mm-hmm.
everybody like they're a big client. I don't care if you're spending $500 with me or $50,000 with me. I'm going to treat you like you're the CEO that you are and respect you accordingly. So what that means is we don't cut corners. We operate with integrity. And everybody should be doing that in their business. I don't care what your business is. You should always operate with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you say you're going to do,
Right.
and people will respect you for that.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. I heard someone say the other day, say what you mean and mean what you say.
absolutely. It goes a
It,
long way. It goes a
it
long
does.
way. Mhm.
It does. It definitely does. For me, starting off with my business and just thinking, okay, I have a business, people going to come to me. I tell people, I have a business. And, people just going to come and it's just going to be that easy. But then once you start doing these things and learning about marketing and how to market, it can become overwhelming, especially when you are doing it by yourself, when you are the administration and you're providing the service and you have to do all the administrative work. Marketing just becomes something that is just a task that can seem overwhelming. How do you help small businesses understand the importance of marketing?
Here's one thing that I want to make very clear, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this. Marketing is hard.
Mm.
Marketing is hard. So if you're feeling overwhelming doing your own marketing, that's a natural thing. And you have to think about it. One of the things I encourage people to do, stay in your lane, like function in the God-given capacity that God gave you and the talents that God gave you.
Mm.
Okay? I know that I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to try to put something together, engineer something. That's not my gift. That's not something I'm great at. Okay? I'm
Mm-hmm.
great at marketing, and that's my lane, and that's what I stay in. Okay? So I tell people, especially in your business, and I learned this the hard way. When I first started my business, I tried to build websites on my own, even though that's something that I offer and I'm doing great with it today. But when I first started out in my business, It took me, I'm not kidding. I worked on my first website for an entire year. It took
Oh,
me a whole year to build one website. Now, this was years ago, obviously. It's not now where you can AI stuff.
yeah.
But it took me a whole year and I still couldn't get it together. Like I just was trying to perfect it and make it, you know, professional. And I'm learning and I'm trying to find out what the latest and greatest is. And it just I didn't give up because I'm like, I'm going to do this. But I quickly learned I was like, this is not something I want to do on my own. So
Mm-hmm.
I go out and I hire developers and people to work with me and we do that and make it really come together. But I'm great at the design piece of it, the front end piece of it. Look at a website, but honest audit, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, web developers struggle with that. Do that. So I say all that to say, know what you're great at. Understand marketing is hard, and don't be afraid to reach out for help. Or and get the professionals to do it because it is not something you take lightly. You show up and you don't show up the right way, and people are turning and they're going the other way. They're going to the competitor. Okay. Anytime that somebody shows up for you and whatever you're presenting is not clear, the answer is going to be no.
Right.
If they are confused, the answer is going to be no. So marketing is definitely one of those things you do not want to come across as being confusing. You want it to be clear. And I tell people this, don't make no mistake about it. Treat marketing like you're speaking to 5-year-olds every time and you're safe. Don't try to
Mm-hmm.
overcomplicate it using jargon and words that are like over people's head. Talk to them. A 5-year-old should be able to come to your website, navigate through, find what they're looking for at ease without any problems. And an 85-year-old senior citizen should be able to do the same. Okay, so
Mm.
just keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Well, that's great advice. That's great advice. So, one of the things that I wanted to know from you is, what are some of the pain points that you see or mistakes that you encounter when you're dealing with your with clients and they're trying to determine who their ideal client is?
Ooh, this is a really good question. This is a really good question. And I'll tell you this, when I first started my business, I was excited. I came out the gate like I got all this marketing experience. I want to help people with their email marketing, with their social media. I want to help them with their websites. I want to, do everything I can to help. And I quickly learned people were hiring me to do things and they weren't clear. They were not clear. So what I mean by that is I'd build a website for them and we get halfway into the website build and they're like, "Oh, I changed my mind. My target audience is different or we're deciding to change our product line or our services." Which is fine. Everybody has a prerogative to do that. But when that consistently happen and you're changing scope and things like that, it can really mess you up and cost you a lot of money, time,
Mm.
energy, resources. And who has time for that when you're trying to run a business? Nobody. So I
Right.
tell people, and what I quickly learned, and I share this with everybody I work with, get your foundation in order first.
Mm-hmm.
Work on having a solid foundation. And ironically, that is one of the key things that I offer now. I call that brand strategy. It is essentially for someone who is feeling extremely overwhelmed with their marketing. They've tried everything, nothing seems to work. They can't resonate with their audience. Nobody's picking up the phone and calling. It's just they're at their wits' end. So I tell
Mm-hmm.
them, let's back it up a bit. Let's back it up a bit. Let's focus on being structured and working on the foundation. Okay. So back to what I was saying when I first started, knowing who your target market is, knowing who your competition is, knowing what
Mm-hmm.
your goals are, knowing and having your branding solid. Okay. And having a plan, like a marketing calendar with a plan spelled out so you know what direction to go and what you should be focusing on. Strategy, strategy, strategy. Have a strategy for your marketing. So when you get to the point where you're ready to implement that, from a tactical standpoint, you can do that. I
Mhm.
talk to people all the time. What's your strategy? Oh, I'm going to get on social media and do social media, and that's how I'm going to get clients. Social media is not a strategy, it's a tactic.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going to send out emails. Email blast is not a strategy, it's a
Mhm.
tactic. You
Mhm.
want to focus on strategy, focus on a plan, a solid foundation. It's literally everything you need to do to get your ducks in a row before you actually start to do your marketing. Is essentially what it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
Okay? So that's one big mistake I see people do. They come out the gate and they go and they spend all this money like advertising and working on paid ads, and I'm like, "Why? Why are you doing that when you don't have your solid foundation together?" And let me tell you what's a part of the solid foundation. Knowing all those things I just told you about.
Mhm.
And it also includes your website, making sure your website is on point. Your website is considered a foundational piece because it is a major hub. First thing somebody does when they're looking to find out about you, are they looking for uh, federal employees come to you and they want to know how to do something, set up their retirement or something like that. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to research you online.
Mhm.
They're going to do their due diligence and see what they can find on you. So you got to make
Mhm.
sure that you have all your ducks in a row and you're clear and people can find you and you got a solid footprint.
Mhm. So, as you were talking, we know that AI is out here, and people use it for everything from um, recipes to healthcare to to everything in between. So, how is it different working with you versus somebody just going on um, Claude or ChatGPT to build, a marketing strategy or do the things that you help them to do?
Yes, very good question. First of all, I am a fan of AI, love AI, um, and love it when it's used responsibly. So it's almost like I don't mean to bring a gun into the situation, but it's almost like gun owners. Gun ownership is fine as long as you're a responsible gun owner. You follow
Mhm.
all the rules, you know all the laws, you're safe with it. And
Right.
that's the problem with AI. People aren't safe with it.
Mhm.
And this thing is moving so fast on us, you got to stay up to par. You got to stay educated. You got to make sure you stay in tune with what's going on. So I tell
Mhm.
people, yes, you could go out and use AI all day long, but if you don't know how to use it, you could be in trouble. You know, if you're not
Mhm.
using it safely, if you're not feeding it the right information, because it's that same old, good information goes in, good information comes out. Bad
Right.
information goes in, bad information comes out. So you
Mhm.
have to know how to feed it, how to give it the information that you want to give it. And that is a skill. That is a
Mhm.
skill. Okay.
Right.
So it's funny, like many other people, I felt threatened by AI too when it first came out because everybody's like, oh God, AI is going to take over all our jobs. Well, one thing I quickly learned, it's not a human being. It can act like a
Mhm.
human being, but it's not a real human being. And
Right.
the more we get into this AI thing, the more people are feeling like they want to even want to have more of a personal, intimate touch with human beings, with people.
Mm.
Okay. So
Mhm.
there's little caveats of things that I pick up on due to my experience. I have 20 plus years of experience doing this marketing thing. Okay. And there's little things that I pick up on that AI is not going to pick up on.
Mm.
Okay. AI is only going to do what you tell it to do. You don't have to tell me how to do everything. I know what to do. I'm proactive enough to do it before you even thought about it as a client, and it's
Right.
already done for you. So that is
Right.
one of the major things that my clients love coming to me for, because I'm proactive. I make them feel like they're important, big business, even if they're a small mom and pop, solo type of business. I treat them like they are important and proactively do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have on the screen, if anybody is interested in contacting you to learn more about you, to learn more about their information that is on the screen so you can contact Stacy directly and be able to glean from her and be able to get all that great information. So, Stacy, one of the things I also wanted to learn from you is about local SEOs. Tell us what is that? What is a local SEO?
Very good question. SEO, first of all, stands for search engine optimization. Okay. And I'm going to make it even simpler for you. When you are advertising or when you are marketing your business, um, it is very important for you to understand that there's two ways that you can get leads. Every single business that's out here, the number one at the end of the day, everybody wants leads. I don't care what your business is and what you're doing, everybody wants leads. And the big way you think about leads is I'm going to advertise, you know, but I tell people there's two ways and only two ways you can get leads. The first way, number one, is organically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what organically means is just you naturally get leads, they naturally come to you. And one of
Mm-hmm.
the ways that you can do that is through SEO. Okay. Another thing that you can do is work on your Google business profile. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing that you can do is show up in person,
Mm-hmm.
networking. These are all things that you can do to help improve your organic appearance and getting you leads. Okay. And nine times out of 10, they're free. All those things I
Right.
just said are free, okay,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. And it's the slow and steady wins the race. So what's great about it is it's one of those things like it takes time to do. SEO takes time. Literally, if
Mm-hmm.
you're working with a marketing agency or with a company and you employ them for SEO, I'm telling everybody who's listening right now, give it time and be patient. SEO takes time. It takes it takes 6 months. I'm not kidding. 6 months before you actually really start to see a real big dent. You'll see some subtle changes throughout those months. But when you
Mm-hmm.
get to the 6 month mark is when you can say, oh, okay, this SEO is working for me. And what
Yes.
SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. It's a way to help you get ranked on Google
Mm-hmm.
and to show up and push more traffic to your website. It also includes you being mentioned online, is showing your online presence and getting people, pushing them more so towards you so that you can generate more leads. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
other way to get leads that I mentioned before is to do paid advertisement. Okay. And that's a big mistake that I see people make is they'll go out and they start off doing paid advertisement, which is a mistake. Everybody should start off doing organic first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you add paid advertisement as like a cherry on top. It's like the icing on top. That's how it should work. You should never be the other way around. Start off with the paid and then add the SEO. Do your SEO first and then add the paid advertisement on top of that. The key difference is paid advertisement is instant. Literally, if
Mm-hmm.
you got the money and the budget, you
Right.
pay for the advertisement, you're going to have a lead tomorrow. You have a
Mm.
lead today.
Right.
And SEO doesn't work that way. It takes a little bit of time. The leads will trickle in, but once they start flowing and coming in, they quickly surpass that if you're paying for paid ads, it'll quickly surpass that. But you got to give it time to
Mm-hmm.
get there. And
Mm-hmm.
it's what we call systemic growth, meaning if you were to do SEO work and stop doing it tomorrow, it's everything you've done is still going to be out there and it's still going to work for you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
sustainable growth.
Okay.
On the paid side, if you stop paying for your ads and you run out of money, the leads are going to stop instantly. They're not coming in anymore.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the big difference where I tell people make sure you know the difference between SEO and paid ads. And always choose SEO first.
So, with that being said, how does a business or how do you help business identify what SEOs for them to use? Because I know sometimes SEOs can be embedded in the website, so it
Yes.
will attract people. But we also know that in like on social media, you see the hashtags that people use that are also SEO. So how
Hmm.
do you help clients identify what SEOs they should be using so they could build that momentum?
So SEO is a lot. There's different levels to it. You have what you call on your website, you have on page SEO. And basically what that is just like on your website, um, you put certain keywords on your
Mm-hmm.
website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one way. Another way is you can put links on your website and interlink between the different pages on your website. That's SEO. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can link from somebody else's website to your website. That's
Mm-hmm.
SEO. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
anytime your name or your business name is mentioned online anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
it's called citations or mentions. That's SEO. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
get inside directory listings. Usually that's free. But if you're trying to get into a bunch of directory listings and you come to somebody like me and I can put you in hundreds and thousands of them all at one time. But
Mm-hmm.
get on directory listings. So if somebody's looking at a list of people who offer Medicare insurance or offer uh, art supplies or whatever your business is, you're on
Mm-hmm.
that list and they just click off of it to your website and they can find you and find valuable information about you. That's
Mm-hmm.
SEO. There's so many avenues to this. How you show up on Google and how you rank and how Google displays you has everything to do with your SEO. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell people if you're going to do SEO, do it right. Go full blast with it because there's no need of you feeling like you're going to waste your money because I remember I told you slow and steady wins the race. So it's going to be a slow go to begin with, but it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like underneath that slow go, it's a power machine working for you, like an engine working and you can't even see it. That's the thing that's sneaky about SEO. And next thing you know, you'll pop up and you're number one. And it's people like, how did they get there? How did they get there? Number one. And here's the biggest secret of them all. Every
Mm-hmm.
single business owner who is listening to my voice right now, if you do not have a Google business profile, you are in trouble. Go get you a Google business profile. It is free of charge to do. Make sure it is optimized. Make sure you have filled out every single item on there completely, that
Mm-hmm.
your information is filled out correctly, because that is one of the ways that Google respects you. And Google, it's almost like having another website in Google land, having your own personal website on Google's place. The other thing, I don't know if you've picked up on this or any other people have picked up on this, but your Google business profile is also a social media platform. On the bottom of it, it has what they call updates. Google calls it updates. It's literally a place where you can put your posts, your social media posts. So you can have
Oh,
a
okay.
picture and a caption there, and you can update it as often as you want. And people sleep on that. They don't realize that that's there. And guess what? It crawls through Google, and Google gives you credit for it. It's almost like Google's checking you out. Like, okay, yeah, they have all this filled out. You can put your social media icons on your Google business profile. You can put your website on your Google business profile. You can put all of your services and your products on your Google business profile. You can put your pictures on your Google business profile. And
Mm,
it's free.
mm,
FREE. Free. So that is one thing I tell people, do not sleep on that. And then the big daddy of them all in terms of SEO. This is the biggest thing that everybody should be doing. Ask for reviews. Ask for testimonials and reviews. Every single person that you speak with, if you've dropped some knowledge on them, you've dropped some valuable information on them, and they found value in something that you told them, or the conversation or the experience they had with you, ask them to leave you a review. And guess what? People aren't just going to magically leave you a review. You have to
Right.
open up your mouth and you have to ask, or you
Mm-hmm.
have to email or text them the link and say, can you please leave, if you enjoyed what we're doing, please leave us a Google review. Do it every single time. And I promise you, you will see some traction. I promise you, you'll see traction.
You know, you are dropping some great nuggets. This is a master class. Like, this is a master class, and that's what people need to be listening, taking notes. You could have a whole thing on just the. You're not even getting. I know you're not getting into the deep details of
I haven't
everything,
even gotten there
but
yet.
listen, this is what you're giving, especially for small business, new businesses.
Hmm.
This is some great information, because a lot of us who, over the past year and a half, who have left, you know, various jobs, has started businesses. And sometimes you think, oh, I just need to go and get an EIN number and I'm in business, or I'm registered with the state and I'm in business. But they forget about that. You have to market yourself, you have to do
Yes.
things. And sometimes I hear some business owners about how weary they are on marketing. But there are people like you who are out here, the subject matter experts, who can help navigate those paths so it won't be so heavy. So,
I
um,
want to bring up this point too, to
mhm,
piggyback on something you just said. One of the things that we as business owners have to remember is, not only, you mentioned it earlier, not only are we responsible for our marketing and our finances, our books and the tech and all of that, our number one job as a business owner is to be our own salesperson, believe it
mhm,
or not.
right,
And this is what I tell people: you can never have sales, great sales, without marketing.
mhm,
And you can never have great marketing without a good salesperson.
right,
And it's very difficult to do both and be good at both. You either have to
mhm,
spend your energy selling yourself and and marketing your and selling your business to other people, or you
right.
have to spin your wheels doing the marketing work, this kind of the behind the scenes work that makes it all happen. I tell people who don't know the difference between the two, marketing is basically going out and rallying the troops and getting people excited about your products and services, getting people excited to work with you, telling them about it, informing them about it, educating them about it,
Mhm,
pushing them all the way up to the door. And sales is the potential client or lead rings the doorbell, and sales role or their job is to open up the door and welcome them in and sell them. That's the
mhm,
difference between marketing and sales. So I try to let people know, marketing is not sales. If the sales aren't happening, it's not the marketing person's fault. You got to get a good salesperson that's going to open the door, welcome them in, and invite them and follow up on the leads that the marketing people are producing.
right.
And you cannot be a great salesperson if you don't have good marketing. You don't have somebody pushing the traffic that way towards you, so you have
Mhm,
good people to talk to about your products and services. So
right.
that's a very important distinguishment that I wanted to make, so people understand the difference.
Mhm, right. And you also mentioned about keeping track of, like, your just your numbers. You know, one thing that you said at the beginning is making sure that your marketing um, plan aligns with your business plan, which is something I didn't think about, but it makes sense, because if
Hmm.
you are trying to scale your business, you have a goal to reach a certain level, whether it's a financial level or so many clients or whatever, then you need to tailor your marketing so you can reach that goal. And then what you just said about marketing and sales, right? You could get the leads, but if you aren't um, skilled enough or feel comfortable enough sometimes to close it, then you're not going to make the sales. And I think, I know for me, I had to get past that in the
Mhm.
beginning,
Mhm.
because you think you get a lead, you think they're going to be your client, and it's not. If you don't ask for the sale, or say, hey, this is what I do, this is my business, then yes, I charge. And if you want to, if you want to work with me, then this is what you have to pay, which I had to get, better at selling. Marketing,
Yes.
I could do.
Yes.
Selling is where I had to build my confidence up to say, this is what I'm charging, this is what I want to do, and not undervalue myself.
It is definitely a confidence thing when it comes to sales. One of the things that I've been told is that I'm really good at sales, but the secret is I don't like sales. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like it. I struggled like everybody else asking for the sale and asking for the money and
Mm-hmm.
discounting things, in the very beginning when I first started my business. I have now learned, after many experiences, but that it is not something that I enjoy doing. Sales, you have to be a people person, an extrovert for the most part. And many people don't believe this, but I don't really consider myself an extrovert. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm an introvert, but I'm
Uh-huh.
more introverted than I am extroverted. So I kind of like that support role and making sure, I help people and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to be at the forefront. But
Right.
when you get your own business, you don't have a choice. You have to be at the forefront. You have to be the one in charge. You have to be the one
Mm-hmm.
who's responsible and operate because nobody else is going to come save you. You got to save your business yourself.
Yeah.
And
That
back
is
to what
true.
you were saying, I think where you were going with this was you were talking about that I mentioned that you have to keep track everything, okay? Even in marketing, track what you're doing so you'll know what's working and
Mm-hmm.
what's not working. And here's the other I wanted to mention this to you. Had asked me earlier what are some of the
Yeah.
mistakes
Yeah.
that people make. Another mistake that I just popped in my head, and this is really, really important. I see this mistake every single day. People make marketing decisions based on how they feel. They get emotional with it. They make impulsive decisions when it comes to marketing. I'm doing this because I got an inkling. I think that people make me feel this kind of way. So you got to, as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
pull away from that and make solid marketing decisions based on data, based on real information, based on you doing your own
Right.
due diligence, doing your own research. And just because you got a feeling that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, my people might be over here on LinkedIn, maybe they're not on LinkedIn. Maybe they're on Alignable. Maybe they're on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
groups. And the whole time you've been thinking they're on this platform and they're not on that platform. You got to dig in, look at the numbers and do the research and find out where these people are. So I tell people,
Mm-hmm.
don't, if you're just, oh, I'm just going to try this today, because to be honest with you, that is a big part of marketing. It is a big part of trial and error. A lot of times you're doing
Yeah.
things, you're
Yeah.
just trying it to see if it works out. And if it works, great, you double down on it. And if it doesn't work, you abandon that. Hopefully you're smart enough to know to abandon that and move on to the next thing. But you have to be smart about it and use the discernment that God is giving you to know and what feels right, and also using the data to know that that feels right, if that makes sense.
Yes. 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 And one thing I like, I use LinkedIn. You know that I'm on LinkedIn and I post and do things on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn will immediately give you the analytics. You can go in and look at who, not necessarily who, but where people are located that are looking at your post.
Right.
And the probably, like, I think it gives an age range too, but I know it gives the demographics of where people are located. And so mine, I'm mostly located within, the DC area. That's where I am. But I also feel because my target area, that's where the most federal employees are, in
Mhm.
the DC area. So it kind of helps out. But I like to see it moving up.
Mhm.
So I noticed that over time as I'm doing things, and I ask people when I have webinars, where are you from? And they'll put different parts of the country. And I'm like, okay, so I'm starting to build traction. I'm starting to be
That's
outside
smart.
of the DC area. And it just continues to grow. Like you said, it takes time. And people look for instant gratification. So they think once they put one post up, and I used to think that too. I'm not gonna say they. I used to think you put one post out there, then hey, people are supposed to see it. But the analytics and the algorithms rather, the algorithms have changed so much over the
Yes.
past few years that it's been so subtle that if you're not paying attention, you won't notice it. And I'm gonna
Right.
say, for example, Facebook. Facebook, when I first started, I could see almost everybody that I was friends with, their posts. Now I'm seeing very few friends and more things that Facebook thinks that I like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it was for me to keep in connection with my friends
Mm-hmm.
or people that I say are friends. and instead, I am seeing things much later or not at all. But you see people that you post, yeah, I like your stuff, but you see those regularly, but then there are all these other sponsored things. So it's good to like get out of that and be able to just go to somebody maybe you haven't reached out or looked at in a long time and engage with them. But the algorithms, you tell us about those. How do
Yeah.
these algorithms work, and how can we get them as business owners to work better for us?
Speaking of social media, I'm glad you went there because this is actually a good topic. And I'm going to admittedly tell you, I am a professional marketer and I don't like social media.
Mm,
But I have to be on social media because my clientele, my clients expect me to be there. So I show up for
mhm.
my clients. So I have to
Right.
be there active every single day. Okay. Here's
Hmm.
what I need you to know about social media. There's so many different platforms out there,
Hmm.
and we're always trying to decipher which is the right platform, or, oh my God, I think I should be on all of them. No, you don't need to be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, uh, whatever other ones, Substack, whatever the other ones are that I haven't mentioned. You don't need to be on all of them. And to be honest with you, when I come across a client and they're on every single platform, it causes pause with me. It lets me know that they are not clear on who their target market is and where they should be concentrating.
Hmm.
Okay. They don't know who their audience is and which platform they should be on. Each
Hmm.
platform has a specific serves a specific purpose and has a specific audience and works well in different avenues. That's why there's so many different platforms. Even though it feels like you're posting the same thing on each platform, and everybody is on each platform operates different and is for a different purpose. So you
Hmm.
have to be clear on what that purpose is. And like you said, things change so fast. You got to be able to keep up with all the platforms and know what's going on, so you'll know what works for you and where you should be in, where you should spin your wheels and post.
Hmm.
Now, speaking of posting, when you're posting on these platforms, we're at a point in time right now where engagement is the name of the game. Okay. And what I mean by engagement, when I say engagement, that means the likes, the shares, the comments. That's
Hmm.
engagement. You could post all day long, and you'll notice if you're one of those people who posts multiple times. um, I tell people, first of all, there's no right or wrong number of posts for you to do. I know that's going to be your next question. You're going to say, how often should people post? And and when should they post? Really, there's no right or wrong way to post. I'm just going to say this is the safe way and the safe thing to do. Find out what your cadence is. If you are a person that can post 3 days a week, post 3 days a week every single week. And don't miss. Show up consistently. That's what I want you to remember. Consistency is the key. If you are a person who posts every day, post every single day. So, whatever your cadence is that you're comfortable with, you stick with that and be consistent with it. If you're a person who posts 3 times a day, post 3 times a day every single day and be
Mm-hmm.
consistent with that. So, that's the key in the name of the game. And the reason I tell people that is your audience is watching, they're looking. And you'll notice they aren't clicking, they aren't sharing, they aren't commenting, but they are definitely watching and putting eyes on you. So I
Mm-hmm.
need you to not think of social media as like a vanity matrix now. We're at a point in time, people are so inundated with information and it's so much out there, and you can sit on social media and scroll forever. It can consume so much of your time before you know it. You're
Right.
like, I've been on here for about 2 hours and wasted
Yeah.
2 hours of my time just scrolling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
People are
Mm-hmm.
so inundated, they're just scrolling. They don't have
Right.
time. People are lazy. They don't have time to click and give you the respect to give you that like or heart
Right.
something for you.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
lazy. So, but I don't want you to confuse them not doing that with the part that they can't, that they're not watching you and they're not noticing you. They
Mm-hmm.
are taking notice. So my point in all of that for anybody who's listening, if you're one of those people who've been posting and you're like, I am so tired of posting and nobody's looking at my stuff, they're looking.
Yeah.
Keep posting.
Right.
Keep showing up. Even when it
Yeah.
feels like it's going out to nowhere in la la land, they are looking. Trust me when I
Right.
tell you they are looking. Trust me when I tell you they are looking.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. That has happened to me where there are certain people that, I look to see who likes my post. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I'm look to see who likes or whatever my post. And I've had people who I thought weren't even paying attention come to me or say to me, I see you, and I'm thinking,
Yes.
you don't engage, so I didn't know that you saw me. But
Yes.
they're watching, they're noticing. You know,
Yes.
a friend of mine, he was like, and he would see me and he would do like the things that I would mimic and do on my post. He
Mhm.
was like, he was doing those things and mimicking me for the things that I do on my post.
Uh-huh.
But he's not always the ones that like likes it every time. But so
Yes.
people are seeing,
Yes.
they are watching, and
Yes. And
even one little click or whatever, it captures that. So,
I want to mention this too while we're on these lines.
mhm,
I want people to understand that you can the purpose of social media. People think all day long, so I don't want to post on social media. I'm not getting any leads off social media. Social media is not meant for you to get leads. Social media is social.
mhm,
It's the purpose of it is to build brand awareness.
mhm,
That's what social media is for. Now, if you're
mhm,
one of those lucky people that get a lead from social media, kudos to you. Great. That's wonderful. But that is not the purpose of social media. Social media is for brand awareness so that people
mhm.
can see you, you show up consistently, and they can see you. So I want people to understand that. And it should make sense when I say that. If you're like, nobody's liking my stuff, that's not what they're not supposed to.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
The other way that you can get leads using social media, I got two little strategies I'm going to share. And I think we've been on here for a while. I'm going to share these two last little social media
Okay.
nuggets if time permits. Are we
Yeah,
okay on time?
yeah, yeah,
O-
yeah.
Okay. Um, one nugget is make sure that if you are a business owner, you have a Facebook business page and you
Mhm,
also have your Facebook personal
mhm,
page. Okay. Make sure you have both. Make sure you're active on both. Make sure you are using your personal page to share out information on your business page. Like give
mhm.
yourself some love, like your own stuff. I go
Right.
through all the time and I like my own posts, believe it or not.
Yes,
Like your
yes,
own
me
posts.
too.
Don't be afraid to like your own posts.
Right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
share your own posts. Be
Yes.
your own
Yes.
cheerleader, be your own advocate. Nobody's going to do
Hmm.
that for you. Okay?
Right.
And then here's a this a good one. This is a good nugget. Some people might know this, but a lot of people might not know this. Make sure that
Hmm.
you find your audience on Facebook and look in those Facebook groups to find them.
Hmm.
Facebook groups is where it is. People like to be in communities. They like to feel a part of a group, feel a part of somebody who's like-minded with them. So that's why you see less and less people on your Facebook wall, cuz nobody's hanging out there. They're inside these Facebook groups and these communities. So
Hmm.
get in as many communities as possible that are relevant to your business or where your target audience may be.
Hmm.
Okay. So like in your business, if you're looking at people who are at retirement age, you're going to sign up for groups of people who are 65 and up, or in that
Hmm.
case, really, I'm going to say 50 and up. You should be starting to
Right.
think about
Yeah.
retirement.
Yeah.
So any groups that kind of cater to people that are 50 and above, you should make sure that you are a part of that group and you're following that group. And here's the
Hmm.
secret: when you're in the group, randomly just go through and start liking other people's stuff.
Mm.
Because guess what? They're not used to that.
Hmm.
And when you like their stuff, the first thing they're going to say is, "Who is this liking my stuff?"
Hmm.
And that's going to cause them to look you up and
Right.
research you and get
Right.
nosy and want to know who you are. And I promise you, that is definitely a good way to get a lead. I have gotten many people, clients from Facebook groups from doing that. And I'll ask them, how did they find out about me? And they said, well, you were on my Facebook page and you liked one of my posts. Who knew that that would turn into a lead?
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's great. And so I'm
Okay.
glad you gave those nuggets because I was going to ask you what are some tips before we signed off.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that you just went ahead and gave that information. I really appreciate it. I have on the screen how people can reach out to you, Staci, so they can work with you. And you need to do a master class. I'm telling you, you need to do a master class because you gave some great information. And I know it wasn't even a third of all the things that we need to know as business owners and marketing and being able to strategize, especially if we're trying to do some things on our own till we can get to the point where we can hire you or someone like you and be able to scale ourselves up. So thank you so much for being on the Royal Nugget podcast this evening. I really appreciate you. And it's been great talking with you and getting all this great information.
Yes, and I just want to say, in closing, if there's anybody out there who's on the fence or they're feeling overwhelmed with their marketing, please feel free to reach out to me. I will have a one-on-one call with you. I don't charge people to call me and have a conversation with me, and we can chit chat and talk about your specific situation. Feel free to do that. You can visit my website at www.stayingpowermarketing.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Alignable, all under Staying Power Marketing. Look forward to meeting all of you guys who are tuning in tonight. And thank you so much, Sharon, for having me. I appreciate the journey tonight.
Thank you, Staci. And thanks everyone for listening now live and those who are listening through YouTube or in the future. And make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the Royalty Business Group YouTube page so you can get instant notifications on when the next episode will drop. So until next time, thanks everyone and have a great evening.